Hi, I'm Shana Lipner-Grover from Sage Country Herbs, and we're here in San Diego at Balboa Park's Trees for Health Garden, and we're gonna go visit some of our plant friends. I'm standing here amongst a small stand of another fabulous medicinal tree from around the world. This time we're heading down into South America, and we're visiting with Pau d'Arco, part of the Bignoniaceae family. Now, Pau d'Arco actually has a really wide range. It ranges from South Mexico through Central America and all the way down to the tip of South America. Because of this really long range, the genus of this tree changes based on what country you're in. So the primary genus is Tabebuia, and that one is what you will find on the market or in commerce. But depending on where you go, you might also see the genus listed as Hydranthus. There are many species, but the main one that you're going to see in commerce is Tabebuia impetiginosa. You also, if you're traveling around South America, might see it as Hydranthus impetiginosa. But this tree has been used for so many hundreds of years that it has many, many different names, as most plants do, many common names based on the area that you see it in. So some of the common names include things like pink trumpet tree, or purple or lavender trumpet flower. Some of the other names include pink ivy or pink lapacho. Now this is actually one of the top 30 remedies, not only in Latin America, but also in European herbal medicine and in Western herbal medicine. And it's so incredibly common that the science has studied it and found that using extracts are also really beneficial. And so sometimes the extracts will have their own common names, like Tejibo or pink lapacho. Pau d'Arco really likes to grow primarily in tropical and subtropical ranges. So it really loves Central America, and its most concentration is actually around the Amazon, Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay. The documented use of it goes back hundreds of years to the Incan Empire, and it has continued being used by indigenous as well as people around the world because it is so beneficial. Anytime a plant medicine has remained in favor for hundreds of years, science has taken a look at it. And there's actually many well-documented concepts of Pau d'Arco being used that are proven. Things like being antibacterial, antifungal, and a wide range of antiseptic, even some antiviral activity. And this is a really wonderful thing because commonly when things are antiviral or antibacterial or especially antifungal, in my experience as an herbalist, as a tea, they don't necessarily taste really enjoyable to the palate. It takes a fine hand to be able to blend a plant so that it's both effective and enjoyable of flavor so that somebody will drink enough of the tea. And that is traditionally the original way of using it is as a tea. Pau d'Arco is different. Pau d'Arco actually has a really lovely flavor. It's refreshing and yet really grounding. It blends well with things like holy basil or the tartness of hibiscus. It's really enjoyable. Now, the primary part that is used in commerce is going to be the inner bark. But when you look into the history of indigenous use, the flowers are used, the leaves are used, as well as even the seed pods on occasion can be used, and even flower buds before they open. All of them have been used historically in both tea as well as tincture form. In studying all of these different parts of Pau d'Arco, all of the parts have actually been deemed non-toxic, which is a real strong benefit. But it's still very effective. Science has isolated a few of what are considered to be the active constituents. Of course, in herbal medicine, we understand that when you extract active constituents out of the whole, oftentimes they don't work as effective, so we still use it as a whole, even though we recognize that there are quinines, there are naphthoquinones, as well as a wide variety of flavonoids that have been documented as being really effective. Now, this plant has been used, in so many different ways. When you have a plant that has so much history, especially amongst such a wide range, then you're going to have a lot of different uses. And those uses are going to range from things like digestive disorders, upset stomachs, things like, constipation. Of course, it's been used for a wide variety of things like skin infections, bacterial infections, fungal infections, issues like parasites, tapeworms, as well as candida. All of these, it has been shown to be very effective. It has even been shown effective at some of our mental emotional wellness, things like anxiety, depression, focus, cognition, as well as some other digestive issues associated with things like diarrhea. The most significant research in pata arco has been shown on its ability to help shrink or reduce size of tumors, and that includes malignant and some types of cancerous tumors. That is a wonderful impact. Part of its effectiveness in helping in reducing tumors is the fact that it's got some wonderful anti-inflammatory actions, as well as immunomodulating actions, which also play a role in that antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral impacts that it has. Historically, pata arco has been used for controlling symptoms of such a wide variety of things, including things like malaria, as well as diabetes. So when we look at the range of uses that pata arco has, both as a tea and a tincture, there are so many reasons to develop a relationship with this plant. Whether it's just going to the store and buying a cup of tea, or heading on down to Balboa Park and checking out the way that these plants grow, because there are some really beautiful aspects. Let's go back to the tree itself. The flowers of this tree are about the size of a golf ball. They are beautiful. They tend to have 2 petals on the top, 3 fused petals on the bottom, and they're all fused together. So they look really beautiful. They stand out. And then once they're pollinated, they turn into what looks like a dry green bean. They're not actually related to green beans, but the dry fruit has a similar look. Sometimes they hang down straight, sometimes they can be curly, but they look like a dried green bean. And then the leaves themselves, also really beautiful. It's a compound leaf structure, which means it has a bunch of leaflets, and they're generally in the shape of a star. So they're really beautiful to look at. Those beautiful leaves are great as a plant that really spreads its leaves out in its canopy to make more surface area for photosynthesizing to happen. So I hope you have the opportunity to come on down and check out pata arco and some of the other great medicinal trees from around the world at Balboa Park.